لكن أصيب. تصدقوا هدف الأول للاعب أحمد الأحمد. معليش عم بتسجل الهدف الدقيقة 16 من عمر المباراة.
I'm sorry lads, I can't do the normal intro. This episode's being played behind closed doors, so... Hello all and welcome to Football This Week. This is of course the series where I bring to you the best and more frequently the worst of what football has to offer online and on social media during the course of the week. And football in the Premier League is well underway. There's more games than you can shake a stick at every single day, but once again Arsenal fans will be wishing that probably wasn't the case. I'm sorry lads, I've got to pick on you again. You make it too easy. But without a hapless David Luiz in the side given his suspension against Manchester City, surely things can only be more positive. I swear to God, you lot are testing even my patience. A late Neal Maupay goal sentenced Arsenal to a 2-1 loss after originally taking the lead through Nicola Pepe. This all coming after the French striker had a nasty collision with goalkeeper Bernd Leno.
Maupay, you are an absolute disgrace. You're a cheat. I hope Brighton get relegated.
Don't blame it on Maupay. Don't blame it on...
You're a cheat.
The German actually shouted at the Brighton striker as he was being stretchered off the pitch. This guy, I swear I'm gonna square up to him. Bernd, your kneecap is currently outside of your body. Can we focus on the task at hand here? Now, supposedly during the game, Arsenal players were getting very loud and lippy to Neal Maupay, especially Matteo Guendouzi. And after the game, and after Neal scored the winner, he had this to say.
Arsenal players need to learn humility maybe sometimes. They've been talking a lot first half, second half when they were 1-0 up. They got what they deserved.
There's pouring salt in the wounds, and then there's just an unnecessarily large pile of it. Okay, Harry, calm down. It's not what it looks like, I swear. It unsurprisingly is a firm Housery award for Maupay. Look, listen, let's just take a look at the positives, okay? You've got the magical 40 points now, so the chance of relegation is minimal. If you want my opinions on the Maupay incident, personally, I think it's been made into a massive deal purely because of the injury that Leno sustained. Whilst I think it was an unnecessary and purposeful barge, I don't think anything more than a foul and potentially a yellow card should have been given. That sort of collision happens about 10 to 15 times a game and it's never talked about, so if you want to start giving yellow cards every time there's any contact in the football match at all, then the game's probably gone. But at least it can't get any worse for Arsenal fans. Nah, I'm done. This is cruel.
It's hard! We're going Europa League again! It's fucking hard! And you're standing there laughing! You think this shit's funny?
I'm convinced this club hates their fans. As if 2020 wasn't bad enough. If World War III broke out, the first thing Arsenal would do is sign Mustafi to a new contract. What's that? A zombie apocalypse? Would you look at that? Arsenal are going back in for Danny Welbeck. I thought football was meant to be raising fans' morale. How has he actually frauded this new contract? Let's deep it. After the Manchester City game, how has he actually done it?
You don't have future here. You don't have future. You can never make it.
I guess the creativity to get 2 assists for Manchester City is what impressed them overall. Now, over at Leeds, they've invested in the idea of getting fans' cardboard cutouts to sit in the stadium. The one problem with this is that they appear to have allowed Osama bin Laden to sit in the crowd. The atmosphere will be truly explosive. I can't say that. I don't understand how this has made it through the entire process. The person that accepted the order thought this was suitable. The man in charge of printing out the cardboard design did not question the decision. The man who packaged this cutout did not recognize him. The individual who placed him in the stadium said, you know what, I swear I've seen this guy before. But after the shocking story of 2019 that saw Colleen Rooney out Rebecca Vardy for sharing fake news with media outlets, Rebecca Vardy has struck back and is gonna sue Wayne Rooney's wife. I'm assuming Colleen only found out about this news via a private Instagram story, so back on the pitch now in the Merseyside Derby, one of the most iconic derbies in the whole of the United Kingdom. A fierce rivalry, a match that all of England looks forward to. Lads, it was I'll keep it 100 with you, it was dead. You'd have got more enjoyment stood outside the stadium analysing the bricks in which the game was being played in. The highlight of it was Mike Dean's new beard, and that says a lot. Nah, actually, I'm kidding. The highlight was Sadio Mane forgetting to kneel at the start of the game. Oh, sorry, apologies for that, lad. Sorry, let me just get back into position there. Over in Malaysia, a news outlet genuinely thought that one of Liverpool's players was called Black Lives Matter because they had it on their shirt. And elsewhere, Crystal Palace have poked fun at Sky Sports' coverage of the title race by doing their own version of the one-sided advertisement that Sky have been doing in favour of Liverpool.
It's time to renew history. Crystal Palace against another club on Wednesday night.
Honestly, I can't wait for us to now lose to Crystal Palace. It's written in the stars. Over to Manchester, and the Red Devils brushed aside Sheffield United in a 3-0 victory where Anthony Martial got himself a hat-trick. Lads, I might have to bring him out the gulag. This is the first sentence that's been cut short. I'll allow it. It was a really good hat-trick. Though he's so unused to scoring in large amounts that he forgot he has to go and actually get the match ball when he scores a hat-trick. So, Manchester City beat Burnley 5-0 earlier in the week, but the game was overshadowed by a banner being flown over the stadium saying White Lives Matter on it. Now, whilst that's a completely true statement, if you haven't watched my video on BLM that explains it further, there's a link on the screen now. People realistically know what they're doing by doing things like that. It's a shame that people feel they still have to undermine the equality of black people in the United Kingdom. If you don't understand the reason as to why it's seen offensive by our community, then I'm sorry, you are a lost cause at this point. It's been explained more than enough times now. But again, if you do want further education on it, I have made a video on it a couple of weeks ago. Personally, I feel this banner would have been a lot more appropriate for the man flying the plane. Over to Leicester, and they're planning to swoop in for 20-year-old attacking midfielder Dano Watsung Over at Bournemouth, the advertising boards are the wrong way round. I mean, surely that's not a difficult thing to sort out, really. At Fulham, Alexander Mitrovic looks like a new man, and by that I mean as if he works at the front of a kebab shop. But now it's that time in the show again. It's time for Trim Watch. What even is that? No, I can't do this anymore, fam. I can't. Now, over in Spain, you're going to have to allow the 144p resolution for this one. But Gareth Bale has decided to completely own the whole golf swing thing. He genuinely loves it. He actually enjoys being hated in Madrid, and I'm a big fan of it. Staying in Southern Europe, and apparently Marcos Llorente sleeps in a scientifically manufactured bed that costs 35,000 euros and reduces biological age naturally by slowing the oxidation and inflammation. Babe, you know what? I'm feeling that one over there. It's just got a nice shape to it, and I think it'll fit perfectly in the room. Yeah, but realistically, is the inflammation, respirational, and oxidization of my lower back region gonna... And down towards the bottom of La Liga, Celta Vigo were granted an emergency loan for a goalkeeper after their backup was injured. They used it to bring in winger Nolito from Sevilla. I mean, maybe they know something we don't, and he can go in between the sticks, but I don't think that was the point of...
Have it.
But do you want an escape from how terrible life is right now? Well, why don't we take a look back down memory lane with FTW Rewind, taking a look at what was happening this week many years ago. On this week, 6 years ago, Luis Suarez took it upon himself to gnaw into Giorgio Chiellini at the World Cup. He bit the Italian shoulder and was handed a 4-month ban from football following it. When you look back at it, the guy was actually just weird, wasn't he? Let's actually deep it for a second. Back in the mid-2000s, David Beckham became a Galactico, signing for Real Madrid. It was also the sign of some more calm hairstyles. A trim watch would have been a madness if it existed back then, trust me. And at Euro 2016, England were defeated by Iceland. A mid to low range supermarket knocked us out of a whole international tournament. What is going on? A goalkeeper over in America has a very unique way of trying to distract his opponent during a penalty shootout. And in Italy, we've got the same old, same old. Torino's Twitter account decided to use this picture as an example of Black Lives Matter. I mean, it's just... The reality is, the tweet still hasn't been deleted. So they know what they've done, and they don't care about it. The league as a whole has got a long way to go before being accepting. But now it is time for still 0-0, and you guys know the score by now. This is a segment of the show where I bring to you the best of amateur and Sunday league football, and we're crossing the channel this time for some French action, and honestly, I'm just gonna let you watch it, because it's the epitome of what this segment encapsulates. On to the weird stuff though now, and in a Turkish league game between Galatasaray and Gaziantep, the game had been originally called for 6 minutes of injury time at the end of the game. Galatasaray were winning 3-2, they were down to 10 men however, and Gaziantep were putting on the pressure. Now, somehow, 13 minutes into the original 6 minutes of injury time, and the referee gives an indirect free kick due to the goalkeeper time wasting. The indirect free kick is taken, and Galatasaray somehow managed to give away a penalty to the indirect free kick. I didn't even know that was possible. And in minute 14 of the 6 originally added on, Gaziantep then scored said penalty to draw the game. Meanwhile, over in Russia, in a game between PFC Sochi and FC Rostov, several of Rostov's players were tested positive for corona. However, they were told they still had to play the league game. There's a bit of a political conspiracy around the situation, but they lost 10-1 because they pretty much had to play their under-16s for the game. And despite conceding 10, their goalkeeper was awarded man of the match, having made a previous 15 saves and also stopped a penalty. And finally, on a similar theme, but over in Serbia, Red Star Belgrade were crowned champions in front of a sellout crowd. However, shortly afterwards, a lot of the team tested positive for corona, and there was 10,000 people in the stadium. So, listen, well done on winning the league, but stay safe, people of Serbia, okay? I don't know what's going on over there. But that is going to wrap up football this week, and I hope you have enjoyed it. If you have, then feel free to slap a like on the video, and of course subscribe if you're new to the channel. You can also follow me on social media. It is at @theofficialfng on Twitter and on Insta. But it's been a pleasure ranting at you guys today. Have a wonderful day, enjoy yourselves, and goodbye.